Hi, I'm Soft. Let's paint in Yap. So everyone seems to be doing these 2016 recaps, the 2016 nostalgia, it's in full effect. So I thought I was gonna repaint something from 10 years ago and just kind of talk about my experience as an artist and a person over the past 10 years, especially as somebody who has made this giant leap from living in the US to living in Tokyo. And during these big major transitional phases in my life, art has always been such a constant, even if it wasn't in the forms that I was used to, even though it was also evolving with me. So back in 2016, I was taking what I thought would be a gap year. I had applied to go to SVA in New York City, and I got accepted, but I didn't have enough money to go. It was $70,000 US, and I remember the day my mom told me she couldn't afford it. I literally thought my life was over. I want to say at the time, but I still to this day am the kind of person where if things aren't going exactly as I imagined in my head, then I just kind of want to throw everything away. It's stupid, it's idealistic, but I've always been that way. And even though I want to say I've improved from then, I kind of haven't in a lot of major ways. I think that's fine. There are definitely challenges with it, but as I grow and get to know myself, I'm kind of better at working with my shortcomings rather than working against them and working against myself, or at least I try to be. Of course, I'm still improving and trying to figure things out. But man, I was devastated. Depressed doesn't even begin to describe it. And of course at the time too, I was in love. I had a girlfriend at the time, and my ex-girlfriend had gone off to college and left me behind in our hometown. And I just remember feeling so desperate and insecure, and I wasn't good enough. But the hole that I put myself in low-key was of my own making. I don't know. I think now I'm a little bit better at I'm not better at pivoting. I wanted to say I'm better at pivoting, but I'm low-key not. Oh my god. But like I said, it's fine. I've learned to work with it. I always say that my best talent is that I'm lucky, and I think luck has definitely played a really huge role in the way that my life has been able to turn out despite my shortcomings. So basically all 2016, I wasn't really doing anything. I had this secondary fantasy after my New York City SVA dreams were crushed by a lack of funds that I was going to learn art by myself from YouTube tutorials. And I was thinking that I would post on YouTube as well and get really famous off of that, and everything would fall in line from that. And as possible as I think that is, I just simply was not mature enough to make it happen the way that I envisioned. I did paint, the art did still carry me, but I just wasn't being realistic. I wasn't working with myself. Mostly because I just didn't know myself. there was also just a lot of anxiety at play at the time. My hometown sucks. There's nothing there. No one, in my opinion at the time, no one there worth knowing. And so since I had this idea that I was bigger than the program, I kind of didn't put any effort into getting to know the people around me at the time. I just fully dove into the fantasy that I was supposed to be doing something else, and then childishly not really working towards that something else. And I also had this weird expectation at the time that my ex was supposed to help me figure this whole thing out, as if she wasn't also 18 and figuring out her own life. I was big into Tumblr at the time. Do you guys remember art hoes? I was definitely an art hoe. And honestly, in a way, I think Tumblr kind of enabled me a little bit. I know you guys remember the positivity of the time. In a way, I think that was toxic to me a little bit. I think I was a bit of a self-enabler back in those days. Just no accountability. I was going through a lot of really serious problems. But at the end of the day, it was my own responsibility to deal with it, not anybody else's. And it was wholly selfish of me to expect somebody else to put their life on hold and help me deal with my problems just because they loved me. I realized that, but it was a devastating realization. World-shaking realization that all of these massive problems that I had would have to be dealt with by me, of all people. And I think this is easy when you have self-trust, but when you don't, it's freaking hard. But after me and my ex broke up, I was really forced to grow up in a way that I find so valuable. Beyond valuable, even. But I also became childish in a way that made this all possible. Just this insane, manic self-belief that was as fake as it was real. I don't think this works exactly. I also finally got a job eventually in 2016. I had accepted my fate. I would not be going to New York City. I continued making extremely amateurish art and posting it. I met some of the best friends I've ever had, and I got really into fandom and relying on the interactions that I had there to advance my life and propel me forward. I also was watching a lot of YouTube, and it's so funny that it was what it was that changed me, but I remember watching freaking Game Grumps of all freaking things, and I remember one of them saying, like, you can practice anything and get better at it, and it was like mind-blowing to me, because I thought that I was trapped. Like, I thought that this socially awkward person that I was somebody that I was going to be doomed to be forever, and that there was almost no point in even trying. And I also kind of feel like it was something that was promoted a little bit on Tumblr, like this massive, heavy finality to any diagnosis that you had. I want to say I don't know why it was like this, but honestly there is such an incredible comfort in misery, especially that kind of misery, like the kind of misery that can't be helped, because if it can't be helped, then you aren't responsible for it. And lack of responsibility is so appealing. The fandom that I was into was for a Japanese rock band, of all things. And when I went to their concert, it like changed my life. But it wasn't the music itself, it was the people that I met through the music. I think that's the important distinction. I think that's how you go from being a loser to not being a loser, is you find these niches and you talk to the people in them. You build community. My community was supportive. They were cute, they were fun. We had drama, but at the end of the day, we were all working towards the same goal. And the goal was to go to Japan and to see our favorite band one more time. And that, like, simple motivation kind of set forth the rest of my life, in a way. Now looking back, I feel like that rejection of not being able to go to SVA, having to get a job at the local McDonald's, having the love of my life at the time leave me, it kind of set into motion my life as it is now. I live in Tokyo. I work here as a model. I have so many incredible friends. Things are hard here, they're hard everywhere. I'm getting better and better at everything there is, though. It makes sense to me that I didn't trust the path that I was on, because nothing had ever gone right. So why could I expect it to go right all of a sudden? I don't blame myself for not believing in my own path. What I really am is just grateful that it worked out, even though I thought it wouldn't. When everyone was posting their 2016 nostalgia, my gut reaction was to pull away. That was a good year for you, maybe, but it wasn't a good fucking year for me. My nostalgia isn't necessarily as there as it is for some other people. But at the same time, every year, good or bad, it's all a part of the journey, right? All of it makes me who I am right now. I recently applied to this art gallery. They never responded to me. And I feel a little thrown off because I had this set idea in my head, this plan that it was gonna go like this, and then this would be the next step, and that would be the next step afterwards. I had it all planned out, and now it's not going to plan. And I almost don't know what to do with myself or with my art. And it's making me wonder how much of me is still that person, that self-sabotaging, I didn't get what I wanted, and now I have no idea how to move forward person. How much of me is still that? It's a big giant part of me. A big giant, maybe almost fundamental part of me to want what I want. But I'm trying to use it more positively. A couple people offered me some live painting gigs. I'm gonna do them. I'm painting on YouTube, trying to make myself seen. I'm trying to take advantage of what I have, doing the best I can with what I got, as Mariah Carey would say. That's beautiful. I could think of 100 reasons of why I am this way, but I don't think that really benefits me. I think the only thing that benefits me is my continual march forward, and the march forward is inevitable. You cannot go anywhere else other than forward. There's no point digging my heels in, resisting what must come next. That's perfect. There were stars in the original painting, but now I'm nervous to put them. I'm not sure if it necessarily goes with the vibe. I kind of don't like the weight of this. Everything is really cyclical, and whatever problems you will have again, slightly differently. I feel like I'm always being tested in very similar ways, almost as if someone is trying to see if I've finally learned my lesson yet. I don't think it's fully outside of my control, though. You can decide what lessons you want to learn, what you want to take from this world. You just kind of hope that the next time you loop around, you do a little bit better than the last. Yeah. I'm painting this star. It feels stupid. not sure about it. In my sketch, it looks really good. Oh, it's going so bad for me. God damn. And you can always paint over what you don't like. This is acrylic paint, girl. Scratch it out. If anything, I kind of like how this scratched out look comes across. No, like this is beautiful. Okay. Or maybe the stars can be in the white paint. Oh, I think we figured it out. When I was planning this painting, I have no idea what I was thinking about in the original, but I kind of wrote down the word limerence, like this longing for something that is almost entirely been made up in your head. I feel like I've experienced very, very many limerences in my life. Just because I'm such a romantic, such an idealist, such an artist. But I think staring at the moon kind of brings out those kinds of feelings, doesn't it? Like this magical beauty that doesn't exist on Earth, but so far away that it kind of naturally invokes fantasy. I have no idea what I was thinking about when I painted the original, but this is what I've been thinking about now. I think I'm finished. I realize this art style is so different from my 2016 one, but I do feel extremely improved. I feel like I'm challenging myself in ways that I wasn't before. I feel like I'm not relying on facial expressions or cartoonish proportions to describe a feeling. I feel like I'm really challenging myself in a way that I haven't before with this art style, and I can see it taking me forward to where I want to go. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed painting and yapping with me. Like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.